sober, busy living sober. It is episode 488. Woohoo! Isn't that crazy? 488. I can't believe that I'm already at 488 episodes. My camera isn't working. Technical difficulties. When you're a one-man show, it's kind of hard sometimes. But I'm so glad you're here. And today's topic is insides matching outsides. It is so crazy. Do you guys ever feel like this? Like you're talking about something or something you're worried about in your life happens like to somebody else, or you hear about it in a podcast, or something happens where you're like, wait a minute, is God talking to me? Or my friends talking to me? Like, where is this coming from? How is this getting resolved this way? And it just happened to me yesterday. I was talking to somebody about how important it is for your insides to match how your outsides are. And then I listened to the Halo app this morning, and I listened in the gospel today. They talked about how God he went to dinner at these pharaohs' house, and the pharaohs came out and they were washing his feet and washing his hands, and he said something to the effect, and of course I'm paraphrasing here, to the effect of, wouldn't it be nice if your insides matched or was important as your outsides, your feet and your hands being cleaned? What about your insides being cleaned? And I feel like for me, it is sometimes harder than other times, right? Sometimes it is harder to have, because it's easy to be worried about the outside, right? You look in the mirror, you're like, see what's looking at you back, and you're like, oh, I can change this. I can put makeup on. I can change my outfit. I can wear this. I can wear that. And it's so easy at times to change the outside, right? You can get physical. You can start walking. I mean, I know some of you probably out there listening can't do these things, but for some of us, it's very easy to fix the outside. The hard part is fixing the insides. It's getting to a place where you're like, oh my gosh, I don't like the way I'm acting, or I don't like the way I'm being. And I want to be nicer. I want to use restraint of tongue and pen. You know, it's so crazy. I know for me personally that it is always in a battle. I remember when I was first sober, I had a sponsor, and I actually just talked to her the other day. I just love her. But anyway, and she's a friend, and I was working with her, and I walked into a meeting, and of course I had all my hair done, some makeup on, some lipstick on, and she looked at me after the meeting and she goes, you know, this is an inside job. And I was like, oh, what does that mean? And she's like, you know how cute you look on the outside? What about your inside looking that cute? And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's going to be a hard feat. It's just like the St. Francis prayer, right? The St. Francis prayer, I think, is one of, and I'm looking it up so I can read it to you guys while we're on here. And I think that the St. Francis prayer is so, I'm like, am I ever going to be able to live up to those words in the St. Francis prayer? Am I ever going to be able to look up to them? I don't know. And here it is. So I'm going to read it to you today. So it is prayers of St. Francis of Assisi. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned. It is in dying that we are born to eternal life. Okay, so when I heard that, I was like, wait a minute. So you want me, now I'm going to dissect this. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. So people in my life, I remember at that time, I was like, oh my gosh, you want me to not hate them and love them? Are you crazy? Do you know what this person did to me and that person did to me? Are you kidding me? You want me to love them? Okay, no, that sounds a little too hard. I don't think I'll be able to do that. And then where there is injury, pardon. So when someone has hurt you intentionally or unintentionally, take their apology. Say thank you. I forgive you. It's okay. I know you didn't do it on purpose. Hard, again, I think hard. Having where there is doubt, instead of be like, I'll give you an example. Today we're getting hurricane impact windows here. Of course, a week after this crazy hurricanes, or we've had two hurricanes in 2 weeks, one being last week. And this week we're getting hurricane windows. So I pray that hurricane that's out there might be two of them. Please do not come here. But if they do, at least we'll have hurricane impact windows. But I was telling one of my friends, I said, oh, we're getting hurricane windows today. And she's like, they're never going to be done in one day. And my husband goes, oh my gosh, JF goes, oh, they're going to be done in one day. They told me they're going to be done in one day. And she's like, oh, no. And so there's doubt. There she is, doubt, instead of having faith. They'll be done today. My house might be a total disasters area, but it will be done today. That is having doubt. And that's having faith instead of doubt. Now, that one I could do sometimes, right? It's so easy to look at the other side of the coin. You're like, okay, wait a minute. If I'm sober, I'm able to change my thinking, right? And I can raise 10,000 feet and go, oh my gosh, you know what? I don't have to take this as being this. I get to say, oh yeah, that's true. I don't have to have fear. I don't have to have doubt. I can have faith that everything's going to work out. And then despair. Instead of having despair, have hope. That's a big thing I'm working with right now because I've been doing, again, the Halo app. I swear they should sponsor my podcast. But anyway, the Halo app is doing a month of saying the rosary every day. So I've been doing that every day. And, the first three, you do the rosary, and the first three beads are for hope, faith, and love. And so I always think of hope, and I always think of something to hope. So instead of being like, oh, it's all going to be terrible. No, you can have hope. Hope, 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 hope. Darkness, where there is darkness, bring light. Oh my gosh. How many people have you heard, not only priests or people that work with the church, but how many times have you heard actors or people that are really Christian or Christian singers, and they always say, the light beats the dark. So don't go to the dark, stay in the light. The joy, the happiness is found in the light, not in the dark. And then where there is sadness, bring joy. So when someone's feeling sad, go in and feel joy. I can tell you that when, ever since going to Medjugorje and having this, epiphany there and listening to them talk about heaven and God and Mary, who gave birth to Jesus, talk about that there's heaven right there, like right above us. It was amazing, amazing, amazing. Listen to my podcast again from when I came back from Medjugorje. It was about 6 months ago. But anyway, having that, instead of being like, oh my gosh, I have to have sadness. No, let's have joy that let's hope that we're all going to go to heaven. That's where some joy comes from for me. Oh, Divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console. So if we're in a good place, we can help others. And, I think we all need to be consoled at sometimes. I think for me, thank God I have a sponsor that I can go to and say, can you help me here? I'm in a place of darkness. I've been helping so many people. I feel really drained. I need to sometimes go and vent. I also do that to my husband all the time. He's one of my biggest listeners, which I'm so grateful for. But we all need something because we all console. Especially moms, we have to console all the time our kids, especially when they're little. They come home from school and they're like, this person was mean to me, that person was mean to me. Girls can be so mean, by the way. And little girls on the playground. And these little girls can be like, oh my gosh, they were so mean. And you're like, I know, I'm sorry. And you need to console, and you need to console other people around you. And that is such an amazing gift. And then to be understood as to understand. To be understood as to understand. Like sometimes we might not agree. This is what I take from this. We might not agree, but we understand. So we can listen and say, I hear you. I hear you. And not a judgmental ear, but an ear that's like, I hear you. It's okay. Breathe. It's okay. You're going to be okay. I promise you're going to be okay. I promise you're going to be okay. And to be love as to love. That's a hard one for me. I can tell you guys, hard one, hard one, hard one. It's again, this working on the outside and being like, oh, I love myself. Look at, I look so pretty, right? I've got the lipstick on. I've got my hair done. I got the right outfit on, but I feel terrible. It's all lie. I don't love myself. I feel terrible on the inside. It's all just the outside that looks good, not the inside. And that's where the self-love comes from and the self-forgiveness. Do you have forgiveness in your heart for yourself? Do you have forgiveness to move forward and say, okay, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay. I'm going to forgive that person. I'm going to forgive that person. I'm going to be okay. That is really hard. We carry around these things like, I want to say like a backpack, right? These things that we don't like about ourselves, our shame, our remorse, our sadness, everything we carry on our back. And it's so heavy. And it doesn't give us any freedom. It doesn't give us any peace. And how do we love ourselves if we're so worried about this backpack we're carrying? That's a really big one for me. It is forgiving that we receive, for it is giving that we receive. Giving. Do you love giving presents? I love giving presents. I just said to to Hadley and Hannah, I just said to them, my love language is literally giving presents. And they were like, just looked at me kind of. And I love to give. It is so hard to receive at times, isn't it? Isn't it hard because you feel not worthy? You're like, don't give me that. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I don't want that. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. But other people want to give it to us, give us gifts, give us presents, tell us that they love us. So to receive in a way that's like loving and kind and going, I thank you. Thank you. I know I don't feel worthy, but I'm going to act it. I'm going to fake it till I make it. And then it is in pardoning that we are pardoned. So, if somebody says, I'm sorry, say thank you. If somebody says, I, really hurt you and I really want to let you know that I feel terrible for what I have done, and to say, yeah, okay, then it gives us more freedom again to go, thank you. That meant a lot to me. I really appreciate you taking the time to say you're sorry. And I hear you and I'm going to let it go. We got to let things go, you guys. And it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. Well, I don't know that yet because let's face it, I'm obviously here still alive. And hopefully I'll get to those shiny golden arches in the sky. But it's so crazy. It's so crazy because so many of us living, especially in this world at, 2024, everything's about material. Buy, 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 buy. But we've all, I think, are starting to realize that the buying and the consumption doesn't really make us happy, right? It doesn't make us happy. It makes us actually, we go into debt and we think that this is going to make us feel better if we look so good on the outside. We do these things, all this stuff, which I understand and I do it myself too. But I also know that it's fleeting. It's like, oh, that felt great for a couple minutes. But then I'm going to start feeling bad again. So it's like getting to the St. Francis prayer in your life. 18 years ago, I would have been like, yeah, I remember thinking to myself, they'd read the St. Francis prayer and I'd be like, yeah, not me, never going to be able to be me. I can't do that. It's too much. That's too hard. I'm not saintly. Are you kidding me? I'm terrible. I'm a horrible person. But within time and working on myself and working with, going to church and praying a lot, it becomes more a part of my life. Being able to go, yes, I forgive you and it's okay. I love you. It's okay. And working on that inside that's so much harder to work on. It's that place of going, oh my gosh, I've got to just work on what's going on inside of me. Because it's not the drinking that gets us drunk. It's the thinking. It's our thinking. Like we're not good enough. We're not good enough. I'm reading this fictional book, which is it's very fun, I think. And you're probably going to go, what's the name of it? So I'll tell you the name of it. And it is, where's my Kindle? Hold on, you guys. I'm terrible at knowing what books I'm even reading at this time, but here we go. It is called The Secret Life of Violet Grant. And it's so funny because she's young. Violet is very young, and she's finding out things about her life. And she's very Auntie Mame like. I love Auntie Mame. I'm actually going to watch the movie tonight. But she's very kitschy. She's very smart on her toes. But she talks to her mother on the phone, and all she talks about is her mother pouring the drink and drinking, because her mother doesn't want to really deal with her. So the mother just drinks, so she doesn't have to say anything. She doesn't have to deal. How many of us feel like that? I don't want to deal. It's too much. It's too much to deal with these feelings. Just get me a drink. Just get me a drink. But the problem is that we wake up the next day and those feelings come back, rushing in like a freight train. So we have to figure out tools. We have to figure out ways to work on the insides of our hearts. We have to. St. Francis prayer is so key in doing that. It helps us work on our insides. It's like letting go of doing a 4-step, which is kind of like giving, confession in a Catholic church is your 4th step. And your 5th step is telling somebody else. Your 4th step is writing down all your problems from your past and all these things you're carrying around in your heart that don't really matter. And getting to a place of self-forgiveness. That's where we find peace. That's where we light up. Then our insides start to match our outsides. And not only are we pretty on the outside, but we're pretty on the inside. And it doesn't feel like we're wearing a mask that says, okay, I'm covering up everything because I'm hurting so badly on the inside. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I hope it does. I know I said I wasn't going to come on, but then I talked to one of my favorite people, and she's like, you have to come on. You can't do 2 guests in 1 week. And I'm like, okay. So the guest that is a surprise is not coming out until the first Monday in November, which is November 4th. So there is a surprise. I love this guest, and she's coming on. I have it recorded, but I'm not going to put it up until November. November is going to be a very spiritual month for you guys out there. And I hope you're going to enjoy it. It's going to be right before Thanksgiving when everything all the fun stuff starts to begin. It's actually Halloween, I think, is when this Bermuda Triangle starts to happen of all these feelings coming rushing in, right? All the feelings come in and we're like, oh, this is debilitating. All these feelings of the holidays and what I'm expected to be and what I'm expected to do. All these things come rushing in. And in the end, it's just, wow. It's crazy time. It's crazy time, the holidays. So we aren't there yet. So let's not go too far in the future. But let's start working on these inside job things, because then we can have freedom and we can walk into these holidays and go, I'm good. I've got tools. I know what I need to do. I know I need to work on my insides. I know I don't need to take things personally. I was also telling this friend the other day, we tend to wear like everything's so tight, right? Everything's like locked into ourselves and we're like, oh, I got to take everything that everybody else is literal. It's the word of it's the word of the Lord. Everything these people say is the word of the Lord. But instead, we need to take what the word, in that prayer, St. Francis of Assisi prayer, we need to take that totally literally, right? Totally literally. But everything else that comes out of other human beings, whatever. I always like to tell the people that I'm helping is that, I think that if somebody's saying something that you don't want to listen to, you can always think of the Peanuts teacher that goes, wah, 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 wah. So you don't have to take anything literally. And then the other thing is wearing life like a loose garment. I'm wearing a golf dress right now. So it's kind of light. It's light and airy. It doesn't feel like a total, like what you put on after you've been in the pool or sitting in the sun all day. But putting a loose garment on and not taking everything in life so darn seriously. Just lighten up. Lighten up. And I want to finish because I have to tell you this morning, I didn't realize till I went on the Halo app that today is, wait a minute, I gotta go back here. Home. Where's me? Okay. And I want to just tell you that today this is the memorial of St. Teresa of Avila. Father Burke will share a background of this great doctor of the church, then CEO and co-founder Alex Wills. So I am going to turn my phone all the way off, which I have, and I want to read to you guys.
Welcome, my friends, to day 15.
I'm trying to have it all the way turned up. So, Saint Teresa of Avila is a patron saint of the app. Saint Teresa was born into a large family and lived in Avila, Spain, in the 1500s. As a young girl, reading stories about martyrs inflamed in her a desire for martyrdom, to the point where she once ran away from home to seek it. From a young age, Teresa meditated heavily on the passing nature of the world, as well as the unchanging nature of God. Still, Teresa became distracted by the worldly things and grew attached to earthly pleasures. Earthly pleasures like we do, right? That means like the material items and all of that. But with the help of spiritual books, she returned again and again to the practice of prayer. At age 20, Teresa entered the Carmelites and worked with St. John of the Cross to reform their order. She was a mystic and engaged in deep contemplative prayer. Her writings, most notably The Interior Castle, led her to be named a doctor of the church for the significant impact she made on the church's spiritual theology. Since St. Teresa is the patron saint of Halo, it's fitting. Okay, so then, but doesn't she sound cool, St. Teresa? She was out there running around doing the same stuff we are in the 1500s, like buying this, thinking the material stuff was going to make her happy. And when in doubt, it was prayer. Prayer and meditation is what brought her fulfillment and joy. Isn't that crazy? So I hope today's podcast resonated with you somewhere in your life, and that, you seek more prayer and more meditation and less material stuff and less worrying about the outside. Yes, you can worry about the outside, but also worry about the inside. What if there was a balance? How does that sound? I love the balance thing. All right, everybody, that's all I have to share for today. And thank you for listening. If you enjoyed today's podcast, please share it with your friends. Please subscribe to my show. And please, if you want to get my emails into your inbox on Friday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard, go to my website, busylivingsober.com, and you'll be prompted there to sign up for my newsletter. And that would be amazing. So please go to busylivingsober.com. And again, all you have to do, it'll prompt you. You don't have to really do anything. Just put in your email address and you will get my newsletter into your inbox. And again, we're here every Monday and Wednesday, 6 a.m. Eastern, it is dropped. And again, I want to thank you all for listening to me today. And until next, and sending big love and hugs to you all. And until next time, keep getting busy living.